Long time no see, everyone. Hisashi buri, tanto tiempo sin verte. It's your old mate Cargon back at it again. This time with a closer look at these. A pair of Autumn-Winter 18 Viridi-Anne Guidi calf leather derbies. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I have been having a war of attrition with finding a pair of derbies. For some reason, the shape of my foot, my high instep, a whole sort of things, very, very wide feet, makes it very, very difficult to find derbies, I'll let you decide, that fit my foot. And it's because they're just generally really, really uncomfortable. They hurt my feet, or my feet don't even fit in them. And I do so much better with boots. That's mainly why I'm a boot guy, because boots are generally wider, have a lot more space, and because of like side zips, back zips, wrapping shoelaces around, you can secure them to your feet even if they're not a perfect fit. That's why I gravitate more towards boots. But I've always wanted a pair of derbies. You know, I have had this pair of AW18 ones, but they're very, very simple. I wanted something, you know, a bit more out there, a bit silly, a bit interesting to look at, and I ended up finding these guys. So in the past, we have spoken about the Viridi-Anne before and how they've sort of had quite a legacy in terms of fashion in Japan, and they've morphed and evolved over the years, whereas nowadays they're more, I don't know, perhaps they're coming a bit out of their tech wear kind of focus that they were in the past few years into more of like a grungy type vibe. But in the past, they have been a little bit more artisanal avant-garde style. But the brand is always evolving and changing and shifting, yet still has a pretty, you know, clear focus on what they're doing. And it's nice that all the garments and accessories still fit together, which shows great leadership. So massive props to that. The bosses, the team there for making that happen. Now, the way I'd actually come across these was by just browsing on Mercari. And I know that in the past I had seen a pair of these shoes before and kind of just discounted them as silly. But as time has passed, I've grown more and more into them and decided I really wanted to try and find some. And I could only find some of the newer pairs of these, in which the difference is that the sole is a tractor sole. And also there is an even more recent version, say last year or just the year before, where this sock part is a bit larger and it's a tractor sole and the laces are different. But let's focus on these because I haven't seen a shoe quite like this before, and so I'm making this video to kind of, you know, show it off. So these are constructed from Guidi calf leather for most of the upper. And I say most because, as you can see here, there is this entire top part of the upper that is like this sort of neoprene style sock that is very, very stretchy. And as a result, the shoe is basically a slip-on. You can adjust the laces that wrap all the way around to adjust the width and the security of it. But I suppose the design is just to get it to a point where you're happy and then you can just slip the shoes on and off. This is my first experience with Guidi leather, I suppose, in hand and having been able to wear it. And, you know, on first look, it's a lot, I don't know, it's like thicker than what I'm used to from leather in other shoes that I have. It's a lot more solid, and I'm not sure whether that is just how they are in general, but that has been, you know, from the touch and feel, how I have, you know, felt about them. Interesting parts about the construction as well is that on the front part, just where like the laces sit, on either side here, we have these little laces or pieces of fabric cord that connect the two parts from the laces section of the shoe to the front, which is a really cute little detail there. I suppose as well, the laces are pretty gorgeous. These ones, since they are secondhand, the previous owner had destroyed them, so they're in pretty bad nick. Like, they've been tied in order to stay secure, and, you know, they could use replacing, but I don't know where you get laces that are exceptionally long like these ones purely for that. And I don't know, I kind of like the whole disheveled finish that they have because of the falling apart, being reattached things. So kind of happy with how they are at the moment. On the rear, we have pull tabs, which are very, very helpful because, they are slip-on, so you do pull them on. They seem to be secured quite well as well. Then looking at the sole, which is, I guess, the bit that separates these ones from the newer versions, we can see here that there is an EVA sole on the bottom. So this EVA foam is, it's foam. It's quite soft, and it means that walking around on these, you don't have that loud sort of like clunk when walking in, like wooden soles or something with like Vibram soles that do provide a little bit of noise. These kind of feel like sneakers, and it does tie in with, the slip-on sock thing, but these are just exceptionally comfortable. Another cool thing here is that you can see that the shank is exposed on the bottom of the shoe here. The shank being what sort of gives the shoe a little bit more structure and support for your foot there. This is a feature that I've seen in CCP boots, maybe some Derbies, I'm not too sure, but I have seen that exposed shank detail there. And seeing it in person, at first I was like, what on earth is this? But yeah, that's what it's there for. It's to provide support. Like the support you give me by watching my videos on this channel. That was a terrible segue. I'm so sorry, I won't do that again. If you look a bit closer as well, you can see the stitching here, welting the mid to the upper. So you can get these parts replaced. And initially I was thinking like I wanted to get them replaced with tractor soles to mimic the more recent versions. But after seeing these, I'm quite happy with how they sort of look, how they feel. And I think just as they wear down and, fall apart over time, then I can consider, moving to a tractor sole or something else. Definitely not a super sneaker sole because I don't like that. I kind of like how these they don't seem like sneakers, but they feel like sneakers. Like you can't tell it's really a sneaker sole. It just is a bit foamy on the bottom. Looking at the tops here as well, you can see the stitching around on the midsole, and you can see that there is creasing from the previous owner. And I've worn these a couple of times and, I'm adding my creases, and slowly over time, there will be more that will be added as well. Looking both in here too, just comparing how they look, and the rears of the shoes. And then I'm not sure, the light isn't really going to pick it up, but we do have in the sole here, it says the Viridi-Anne made in Japan, and then markings on the side, the number 3000 and then a 09. So it wasn't exceptionally clear what size these were, because Viridi-Anne does use, sizing of like 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that. But these do fit me. I am a 9 and these are a little bit longer. They do have a lot of space. However, because of the construction of them and the width, it fits me. When I got them, I could not slide my foot in at all. Could not get past here. I had to undo the laces and then redo them, and eventually just had to completely undo the rest of them as well, just to give me some more width. And now I can slip these on as well. As I mentioned before, comfort, it's wild how comfortable these shoes are. There's a couple of things that are not so comfortable, but that is not based on the shoe itself. That is just me having weird feet. Like, I still haven't found the sweet spot for the right shoe for my right foot. I can slide it in, but I think I need to give it a bit more loose, make it a little bit looser to just not provide so much pressure on the sides of my feet. But otherwise, the left one, it is surprising how comfortable these are. And really, I am such a fan. I just gotta wear them in so they stop eating my feet. I've had to put band-aids on my ankles as well, but that's just me with Derbies. Like when I had the Rick Owens, Doc Martens ones that destroyed my feet, actually gave me an injury. Same, I had to be wearing band-aids. So I hope that does clear up over time relatively quickly, like fingers crossed. You can see in here, like the heel, there is like reinforcement beneath like the sock part. So your heel isn't just sort of like flopping around in there. There is support. It is quite tough there. You can hear it. It is very structured there as well. So I do need to make sure that when slipping in, I'm not crushing this too much or just using a shoehorn because I don't want this to collapse. because that would be no bueno. I don't want to have to get more repairs done on these in future than I need to. Overall though, I'm quite impressed with these so far. For a really strange looking, almost Frankenstein type shoe, these are pretty cool. And I don't know, I look forward to seeing how I can style them and, you know, making them work, because it can be a bit tough with how these look of like, is it a sneaker? Is it a shoe? I don't know. But I love them. It's also my first foray into something Guidi type, and Guidis are something that I just can't take that leap. It is a lot of money, and I do need to be able to, you know, try things on first. So maybe in future, but experiencing the leather though, it's sick. It is very, very impressive. And so these are the Viridi-Anne Autumn Winter 18 neoprene Guidi calf leather derbies. What do you think? We'll do a quick on foot showing now so you can see what they're like on foot. Let's do it. Alright, so that was a look at the shoes on foot. What do you reckon? I am looking forward to sort of figuring out how to style them. I really, really hope that my feet get adjusted to them and they get adjusted to my feet, because I'll be very sad if I have to move them because they're just no good. But that is for future. It is for future us to decide, and we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments down below. But for now, you'll take care, have fun, be safe. And as always, don't do anything I do, except, have a look at brands that you're not super familiar with. And feel free to ask people. And in the Discord, people are very, very happy to help. But it's good to like branch out and see different things, because had I not, I never would have discovered these or really paid attention to these. And I'm very, very grateful for that so far. But yeah. Be safe, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.